ahead and get started. All right. So you are, again, here to learn about Canva, not to be confused with Canvas, which does happen sometimes. In fact, I think I was like typing some stuff out for this and I was writing Canvas and I'm like, oh my gosh, no, that's not what we're doing. Something different. All right. So my name is Jessica Tamborough, if you didn't already know, which you should because it's right there. And I'm a 6th grade earth science teacher at the theme school. This is my 10th year in Newton County and my 10th year at the theme school. And 3 years prior, I was in Rockdale County at Davis Middle School. Most of you should know what the term ILT means, Innovative Leader of Tomorrow. Each school has one or maybe two. We have two, one for elementary. I am the ILT for the middle school. Been doing it for like 5 or 6 years. I've lost count at this point. So, but I absolutely enjoy doing it. And technology is my jam. It's my thing. I'm not perfect at it. I am not the best at it, but I do use it every day. I use lots of things every day. And so I wanted to share some of the with you that I like about Canva. So what is Canva? Canva is a graphic design platform that's great for making invitations. So again, you could be on here obviously thinking, I'm going to learn what to do with my classroom, how to integrate this into my classroom, and you might start using it for other things, and that is totally fine. Invitations, business cards, Instagram posts, and more. So if you have a little side business or whatever, I mean, you use this however you want, okay? Canva has a free and a paid subscription, but you also have an educational Canva as well, which I actually just learned about. So win-win for me and for you. Again, you can create invitations, business cards, flyers, lesson plans, Zoom backgrounds. I mean, there's just so many different things. You can even create graphics for shirts and then have them printed. Like, it's crazy. And you may think, well, what do I need to know? Why do I need to know about this? Like, this isn't going to help, get them engaged. It's just graphic design. I don't teach graphic design. Well, again, there's lots and lots and lots of different types of things you can do with this. I'm going to kind of narrow it down so that I don't take up all of your time. I don't want to take the entire hour. I want to give you time to either play around with this by yourself. Because for me, I know someone can show me stuff all day long, but I learn best when I just play around with it. So I want to give you time to do that after the session is done, before the next session, or even maybe I get done and you want to hop on to another session really quick. Okay. So I don't mean for it to take the whole hour. So again, the first thing is, hey, what does this cost? Is it free? Because I can tell you right now, when I'm looking up new technology tools, I always want to make sure I have a free account. And when I see that there's no free account, or it's a trial for 7 days, or you can only do 5 students at once, I'm like, no, I can't. I mean, unless I will say I do pay for GimKit. If anyone uses GimKit, I do pay for that because they love that. But it's only $5, so some things are just too expensive. And we, as teachers, need to look for free accounts. I can tell you right now that this free account for Canva will take care of everything that you need. Like I said, some free accounts on other websites or programs don't really give you a lot. You can't really do much with it. This does. I actually have used the free version all year last year and did everything that I wanted to do with it. There's a paid, and I will say that my team did pay for a pro version. That's what it's called. It's called a pro version. And we split the cost. We use one sign-in. Probably not supposed to do that, but we do this if we have to. And that kind of gives you a little bit more. But like I said, I really, truly believe the free version or even the educational version is just fine. But we did do that. And I know that if you use, what is it called? Whatever it was called a long time ago, the easy one to say, Rakuten, I don't know. Anyways, if you buy it, the pro account, it does give you cash back for it. So there's perks. But the educational account is a place where kids can collaborate. So you have a classroom in your Canva account, and then you can actually push out worksheets that are pre-made. I'm going to show you some of those too. You can have them create their own things. You can push it out through, we don't have Google Classrooms, but we do have Microsoft Teams, or just obviously catch a link. So the educational version allows for collaboration, which is what you would want to have. You would want to have that version for your classroom. I, of course, signed up under the free. I did all my graphics through that, which I'm going to show you what they look like in a little bit. But as far as doing anything with collaborating through students, you would want the educational account, okay? All right, so there's a million uses, but I just kind of narrowed it down to 2 types. Teacher, organization, classroom management type things that you can use it with, like newsletters. And then, of course, what you're going to do with your students. So designing newsletters and graphics for your Canvas site, which is what I did. And then for your student use or collaborative use, you can have your students create themselves, collaborate as a group, or, you know, even as easy as like a little ticket out the door. Okay. So I'm going to kind of narrow it down to those 2 things and how you can use this for yourself as a teacher and for your students in collaboration. Okay. So here's some images of how I've used Canva. So we've used Canvas for a while, and I am a big visual person. I love visuals. I love to make everything look nice and neat. And I didn't start using Canva, like I said, until last year. So my Canva site was not as colorful and organized. I mean, it wasn't bad, but it was just the drab, like I'm putting random pictures, I'm searching, I'm saving on my desktop, and then I'm like putting them, making a little table and plopping them in. This is for this unit, you go here. Well, I literally, the first time I used this, I probably sat here for like an hour after work and just started going to town. So I enjoyed it. It is a great way to stay organized, and I like to kind of color code things, which I'm going to show you in a minute. But anyways, this is my homepage for my Canvas site. I made a little banner. You can incorporate your Bitmoji too, by the way. These are all links. So obviously last year I had my homeroom Zoom and my science class Zoom, and then these are all my units of study. And then like my hydrology unit page, I have our standard, and then these are all the buttons or banners that the kids can click as an intro to our unit. And then of course, specific areas within hydrology. So I've made all of the things that you see on these 2 pages through Canva. This is our NCTS Tech Team page for our tech committee here at the theme school. Again, everything is made from Canva. And then this is my technology newsletter that I send out to my staff every week. This obviously is a newsletter as opposed to just making images. This has the ability, it's a flyer, it's a newsletter. You can add videos and links and whatnot. So it's everything all in one place, rather than just putting things in a folder or sending different links in an email. I was able to create this and then share it across platforms. I actually would make this on Canva, this newsletter. I would simultaneously share the link or copy the link, and then also share it on Twitter. So all of my people that follow me on Twitter, not just my theme school people, were able to see and view my technology tips newsletter. Now, classroom use. These are some templates that you can find on the educational site. I'm gonna be honest with you, I did not know this was here until recently, because I'm all about making things myself. I literally like make all of my classroom stuff myself. Things that you hang on the wall, things that you see on my Canvas site, down to even worksheets. I just make it myself. Well, sometimes I just don't want to. Okay, so I started to look through these and I'm like, why was I not using these before? Including worksheets. They have worksheets that you just print if you wanted to, just to print. But of course you can use the worksheets, share it, and then collaborate or have each student do a worksheet digitally. Here's a mind map, right, about energy. This is where it's very much like Google. You can see the people that are on it. Again, I'll be showing you how to do that in a second. And then of course you have collaboration where people can add things to one place. Again, here are your worksheets. This is just a snippet from the Canva site. Again, if you didn't want to use it digitally, you can at least get a worksheet and print it. But what's cool is you can share it. They can fill it out digitally and save a tree. All right, first, before we collaborate and you see how that works, number one, the Canva site is canva.com, but you are going to want to, education account, you are going to, let me grab that link and put it in the chat really quick. It's canva.com/education. That's what it should be. So let me drop that in the chat. So what I would do is obviously sign up using my school account. Just sign in with Google if you're signed in. I use Google pretty much more than Microsoft. So it's cool that this has the ability, you have the ability to just sign in with Google. Instead of having to make your own account, you can have that all kind of flow through with signing in through Google. So in the chat, I have put the link to the education part of Canva. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go through and I'm going to show you just some basic things about Canva that you can go ahead and get started with at least. There's too much stuff to go through if I went through everything, okay? I just finished a session on Jamboard, and Jamboard has like 5 different tools, and that's it. It's super easy. So now I'm on the other end of the spectrum where this tool has, it can be overwhelming. Okay, so I'm not going to try to sit here and show you every little thing because you're going to check out. So I'm just going to go over, this is what it looks like when you sign in with the education account. You're going to have this classwork tool on the navigation menu on the left that you would not normally have if you signed up with just a regular account. Okay, so that's what makes it different. That's what you're going to want in terms of using it to push things out to your students and have collaboration. If you're just interested in making graphics, then that's fine. Okay. So you have templates. There's lots. Okay. You got to figure out what you want. That takes time. My go-to is just to create a poster. Okay. And then I can kind of crop and cut things if I wanted to. Yeah, there's just so much. You would just have to kind of go through and figure out what you would really want. But my go-to is to create just a poster or a logo. So poster or logo, I'll show you in a second. This stuff just shows you the different features of Canva. Again, I'm not going to go through that. That's boring. You can go through it if you want. What you need to know is how to use it, right? So this is your dashboard. You can either click create a design. And when you do that, it's going to give you all of those templates again, or at least some of them, suggested ones, okay? So like I said, my go-to is either a poster or a logo. I'm going to click logo because I'm going to show you my Canvas page really quick while that's loading. In order to make all of these little buttons for my units down here, I did logo. That way they were the same size, okay? So all of these down here were made through Canva, and they were done with a logo, okay? So I'm gonna let that load. Like I said, you have poster, you have infographics, which is, gosh, I'm drawing a blank now. There's another program, maybe someone can tell me in the chat, totally forgot, that is specifically for infographics. If you need to do business cards, I mean, desktop wallpaper, brochure, I mean, all menu. I do a project at the end of the year when we do meteorology, do recipe for disaster. This would have been great to use. I didn't really think about it, and now I see it, and now I might use it. They can make a paper menu or a digital menu about the recipes or the ingredients to create storms. Okay, so you may think, why would I ever need a menu? Well, you can make a menu of, specific content related things, right? Like a burger. You got your like when you're teaching about how to write a paper. So you can either create a design, that's how you start. So you're going to click that purple button and then obviously figure out what template you want. Then you're going to have a separate tab that opens, which is right here. Here's that Rakuten thing. So if you want to buy the pro version, you can get some cash back at least. So what I did, you see that I've used these two recently. So it will show you what you've recently used. And you can actually see that one right here. I just changed the title, whatever it says in here, to homeroom. And it's like a GIF or a little video. So, and it does work. So it's visual, right? It draws their attention. First thing I always tell students, whether it's a Google product, a Microsoft product, or even this, please name your design, your whatever it is, your document. So up here, you would want to name it, okay? That's the first thing I would do. I'm going to label it practice. So once you have picked out your design, right, or your template, I would always tell myself and my students, the next thing you want to do is name it. Right? Especially if you're collaborating or if they're turning something in, you want them first and foremost to put their name for the title. Okay. The next thing are you have templates that'll just automatically kind of make something for you and then you can edit it from there, which is what I usually do. Or you can just start it from scratch with a blank canvas. But you have different logos, different templates. Some are cute, some might not fit your taste, some you might want to use it without editing it. Some of it you might just want to use one thing and you can delete all the rest, right? So what if I chose that? This is free. So you'll see when you hover over some things, it'll say free down here, or it'll have a little crown, which means it's the pro version. Most of the educational, when you register with an education account, it's going to give you most of what you can get through the pro account. Once you've selected a template, you go from there. Other than that, if you don't want a template, then you need to start figuring out, what do I want to do on my blank canvas, right? So you have your template. If you want to delete some things, maybe I don't want a basketball, right? Maybe it's the dance team, which if you know me, that's my thing. I'll put NCTS because that's where I'm at. Well, NCTS is red and navy, not orange and navy. So I want to change this, okay? So again, we started with a template and I wanted to delete a few things, right? So I deleted the basketball and I've changed the text, right? But now I want to change the color. So I'm highlighting this little pentagon here. And you'll see this little box. This is where you change the color. You can do any color you want, okay? You can add a new color. It'll give you custom default colors. Add your brand. I don't know what that means. Add your brand colors. So I'm going to change it to red, okay? So again, you see all these buttons. I'm only going to go through basic ones. That way you're not overloaded. So I have choosing a template. First thing I did was select what kind of template I want. I wanted a logo. Then I chose a template over here from the left that will be like a pre-made type of design. But I didn't want the basketball and I wanted to change the text and I wanted to change the color. So I did that very easily, right? You usually have to click on a specific thing to either delete it or edit it, okay? You see that with text, you can change the font. It gives you a lot of fonts. You see here it has the pro, so you wouldn't be able to use anything that was a pro version unless you did have the pro version. pretty much you can change the font, the color, bold. You can do a lot of other things too, which again, I'm not going to go into the more detailed stuff. All right, so now that I have selected my template and changed the color and text, I want to add what is called an element. An element can be a picture or a shape, okay? But since it's dance, I'm going to search because what pulls up here, I don't really see anything dance related. So I'm going to search dance. I like that. Okay. It's very generic. It's not girly or, because I have had boys on my dance team before. So there I have created a logo for the NCTS dance team without having to really create it. It was already created. I just had to change a few things, right? So if I had a website, or not a website, like a Canva site for my dance team, for their parents and for the students, to have forms, physicals, the calendar for practice and competitions, all that stuff, I could use that as my logo. Or here you have uploads. You can upload images, videos, and audio. So what if I wanted, I uploaded my Bitmoji for something a long time ago. So it does save stuff that you've already uploaded, which is nice. Okay. You can upload media from your computer. So say you want to create a flyer with a picture of your sports team or a picture of your classroom, right? A newsletter for your parents. You could do that. Videos. That is like with my newsletter, my electronic newsletter, e-newsletters for technology, I usually do that. But most of the time I've used Canva really for just creating graphics to make my Canvas site look a little bit better. Here's your text button. So it can automatically size it, and it also gives you some really cute, cool, different looking pre-made signs, if you will. So if I chose that, I can write my name. So instead of having to choose a font, type something, resize it, color it, add the drop shadow in the back or the reflection, it's already done for you. Okay. So those are your tools on the left navigation, right? So you have your templates. That's usually where you start. Elements, any type of pictures. You have photos, graphics, video. You have all sorts of stuff that are already pre-made for you, right? And then if you want something personal, more personal, you can upload your stuff and put it on here. And then, of course, you have your text. You can have regular text or pre-made signs. Then you have this hot dog right here, this little ellipses where it says more. Again, this is where your pro or your educational or your free account will determine what you can do. But you have some apps that are integrated that you could. Let me just do Google Maps. Coliseum. Let's put that. So the map, double click to interact. It's probably when it's live. Oh, okay. So social studies, geography. You could definitely use a map for something, right? And it's interactive. All right, I'm going to take that out. I know that I've used Google Drive. I've used YouTube to embed different videos into my newsletters. So again, it's just kind of that I'm just going to play around with it and see what this particular design meets my needs for whatever I'm doing. All right, so recap what we just did. We picked a design, we named our design, and then we went through the left navigation. The file, this is also where you can rename or name. So you don't necessarily have to go over here and click. You can click here. And this is just, you know, your toolbars, kind of like your Microsoft Word or anything like that, showing margins, saving, make a copy, download. So you have multiple places where you can do the same thing. So you have your download over here under file, and you have your download over here. Okay. Resize. This is just, if you want the logo to be a bit bigger, we want it to be unlocked. Let's do 750. What's going to happen is it's actually going to save your original one and leave it alone, and then make a copy with the same thing with your new dimensions, with your new size. Okay. That's one thing I do like about Canva, is it just kind of saves everything. It just makes duplicates. So here you can see it's a little bit wider. All right. What else I want to show you is these buttons right here. You can duplicate the page. So you can actually have more than one page. You can add a page here. You can delete. You can add a page there too. So again, you have buttons in several different places that do the same thing. Last couple of buttons, the share button. These are the important parts when you definitely want to collaborate. So I am using the education version. So right now it says my class, and then this is me. Right now it has the eyeball with the slash through it. It just means that it's not shared. So they can either view what you're doing or what you've made for them, or they can edit it. So that's up to you. So it's just like Google products. You have to share. You have to you can either view it or edit it. So I want to edit it. I want people to edit it. And then of course it'll say share a link to edit. And then here again, you can do the same thing that you did right here, just the same thing, just a different button in a different place. But you can also use it as a template. So what can happen is you can make a blank worksheet by yourself instead of choosing a worksheet that they have pre-made for you. Say you want to do your own, you make the worksheet, then you want to push it out to each student, but you want them to fill it out themselves. They can make a template, which would be a copy of it, kind of like what you would do with Google. And then you have your download button. This will give you the option to download as an image or a PDF. If you have any type of graphic videos on there, might have to be shared as an MP4 or a GIF. Lots of different settings here. I don't really use, I just download it. And then the last thing I want to show you is the hot dog up here. Again, you have your download button, you have your shared link, you can present it. So if I click this, you're going to see it just as if I was presenting a presentation. So it's just going to be up here on the screen. You have this cute little laser pointer too. So those are kind of all the basic features of Canva. What I want to do now though, is I want to share a link really quick with you. And this will be one of the last things we do. I want to share a link with you so that you can collaborate. So like I said, I use this mainly for just doing images and digital things for my Canvas page. But then the kids actually started to use it more so, and they loved it. And so I started saying, okay, well, I guess we can use this in the class, not just for my Canvas page. And now my colleagues use it. My social studies teacher, she uses it for them to do social studies projects. And now with this education version, it's going to be even easier to collaborate and make teams or groups, or have one place for the whole class to come in on, which is what we're about to do. So in the chat, I'm going to drop a link, and it's a long link, and just click on it. Now, here's the thing. This is the one thing that I don't necessarily like about Canva, but it's okay. I guess it's like a safety feature too. You have to have an account. So unlike Google, where as long as you have the link, anybody, they don't even have to be signed in, can get onto that particular app, right? Or that document. It should ask you to sign in. So if you haven't made a Canva account, it's fine. I'm going to show you what it looks like up here on the screen and you can follow along. But if you do have Canva account, it probably will ask you to sign in. So here is what we are going to do. This is an idea book. So this was a pre-made template. I didn't have to make it. The only thing I changed was I put a title and a date. Okay. Up here, you see who's on the Canva, right? And then what I would like for you to do is pick a text spot. I don't know, it's not a box really. And I want you to tell me what you could possibly use Canva for other than making graphics and newsletters. What do you think you could do with Canva involving your students, whether it's a collaboration piece, okay? And I know I didn't really go into a lot of detail on that, but really it's just like anything else. You got worksheets, you got this right here, it's an idea board, right? You can make your own thing. Like I just showed you how to make a logo, right? It doesn't even have to be a logo. It can just be a blank space. You choose the template that's a logo, and then you do something else with it, right? So think about what you could possibly use Canva for. In fact, if you want to tell me what you could use it for as a class management or a teacher tool for yourself or your staff, you could do that too. But what about using it for collaborative purposes with your students as well? What I'm going to do is I'm going to use this zoom in button, which I like down here because it's kind of, and I also have duplicated. So if you're on, you can actually go to page 2 if you don't have a spot anymore. Have students create their own icon to use on my progress monitoring Canvas page to protect. Very good. So I've only taught science. Of course, I am an ILT and I do a lot of teaching adults too with technology. But as far as curriculum, I've taught 6th and 7th grade science and that's it. So seeing ideas from other teachers is really cool, especially with different curriculum. All about me. Yes. So this is, so if I hover over, it says Robin Bassett. So Robin, that's what you were putting down at the beginning was really good. Students create their own all about me. So that's one of the first things I do when I start the year is I give them one technology tool to make an about me. When I first started teaching, it was more so they made like a name card thing and they would draw 3 different things about themselves. And then they would put the name card on the desk so that I knew their name. But now I've started to use that particular assignment at the beginning with digital tools. That way they're learning how to use a digital tool at the same time that they're still completing that assignment and I get to know them. So pretty cool. Students creating projects like brochures. Yeah. So, there's millions of tools that do millions of web tools and programs and products that do really the same thing. This is just one of them, but I just like it because it has so many different features and it has so many free things that you can use that you don't have to really think about. You just create something really quick. So, what I'm going to do as you guys are writing on the idea book, I'm just going to go through my Canvas page so that you can see a little bit more of it. So I showed you this at the beginning. And I want to show you my units. I try to make them all look very similar. I'm OCD. So I made these buttons. So we have different parts of lab safety, scientific method, and measurement at the beginning of 6th grade science. And so each little part, I've created their own page. Wondering if I have anything else on these. No, okay. So let me go to an actual unit of study, which would be, let's do geology. So I made those little graphics using Canva. And so each unit of study starts with their standard and their elements. This I made with Canva. Then they have banners. To introduce the unit, we look at our action plan, which is our standards, our vocabulary, possible essential questions. So I made all of these banners. We do magic word. Here's our action plan. And then what we want to know, kind of like a KWL. And then their online digital notebook. I made all of these banners with Canva. And so each of the units has a graphic made from Canva with their standards on them. And then these are always in order: magic word, action plan, what we want to know, and online digital notebook. And they all look the same. That way they kind of get into this, pattern, and they start to know how to use your pages better. And then of course I have each little part of my unit here. So I've made a lot of stuff with Canva over the last year. And like I said, my technology newsletters that I send out to my staff. All right, so with that said, make sure, okay. So there's a lot more to Canva, but in all honesty, if you're a beginner, this is all you need to know. Just kind of what the little buttons are everywhere. Like I said, I went from teaching Jamboard, which has like 5 buttons, and then Canva has like 1 million. So it's really just about getting in, making an account, and then just kind of playing around with it. And that's exactly what I did.